your smile. Now the sunshine brings the light. Fill me out with a flame. I will let you in this game. Take me out when I'm down. 'Cause with you I'm safe and sound. 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 I'm safe and
Hello and welcome to Equivator Reviews. Today we will be taking a look at this very stylish subcompact crossover, the Mazda CX3. This is the first generation and it has been in production from 2014 till present. Basically this crossover is just a Mazda Demio but with high ground clearance. It's based on the Demio and they share the engines, transmissions and many other components. Even the interior is exactly the same. You can get the 2015 models from around 1.7 million shillings to around 2.3 million shillings depending on the trim level as well as the mileage. The 2016 models are even more expensive with some going for as much as 2.5 million, which is just too expensive for this car. In terms of the engine options, there is a 1500cc 4-cylinder turbocharged diesel that has also been used in the Mazda Demio. Then there is an 1800cc turbo diesel, but it's rare. As for the petrol options, there is either a 1500cc naturally aspirated 4-cylinder or a 2000cc 4-cylinder, again naturally aspirated. This car is available in either front or all-wheel drive. Moving on to the transmission options, there is either a 6-speed manual or a 6-speed Sky Active automatic. Now the petrol engine options are very reliable and easy to maintain, especially the 1500cc. It's also decent enough in terms of power. It can handle long distance drives well, though the 2000cc is slightly better. As for the diesel options, the most common one is the 1500cc turbo diesel, and it can also be reliable if you maintain it well. This engine does not have the inherent gasket and cooling issues that the 2200cc turbo diesel had in the CX5 and Atenza. But still, being a diesel, there are some key things you have to keep in mind. Be careful on where you refuel because poor quality diesel can cause issues. Secondly, do not extend the service intervals. Just to do the service after every 5,000 kilometers for the minor service and 10,000 kilometers for the major service. If you extend the intervals, then you will run the risk of having the air filter getting clogged with the dust, and this can lead to many other complications. Thirdly, use the genuine recommended oil. In fact, I did a video on Mazda diesel engine maintenance. You can check it out. I'll leave a link to that video in the description box. Some of those precautions may also apply to this diesel engine. Lastly, also take note of the DPF. You can as well delete it to avoid any future problems. I also covered the DPF in that video, so please check it out. If you are keen with the maintenance, then the diesel engine option will also be very reliable, and in fact it's very powerful. It's a very powerful engine, yet also very economical. Moving on to fuel consumption, the 1500cc petrol can achieve around 18 km per liter, the 2000cc petrol around 16 km per liter, the 1500cc diesel up to around 23 km per liter, which is almost hybrid category. The 1800cc diesel on the other hand can get up to around 20 km per liter. All these figures will always depend on how you drive, how you maintain the car, and also how much loaded the car is. The front-wheel drive variants have a 48-liter fuel tank, while the all-wheel drive variants have a 45-liter fuel tank. The ground clearance measures in at around 160 mm, which is very slightly below the recommended 165 mm clearance, but it's just fine. This car will be able to go over bumps and uneven road surfaces without much of a problem. As for the carb weight, it ranges between 1291 to around 1339 kgs. The brakes are ventilated discs at the front and solid discs at the back. The stopping power is good enough. Lastly, some of the extra features you can get in this car include a heads-up display, leather interior, a sunroof, an MZD Connect infotainment system, a Bose premium audio system, paddle shifts, parking sensors, and a radar cruise control. It can come very well kitted, and in fact, even the competitors don't offer some of these impressive features. So now let's have a look at the interior of this car. So this particular one gets a black and reddish interior, and on the door card you get the usual stuff: a cup holder, a speaker, power windows and mirrors. Then the seats get manual adjustments, and it's almost like leather, but it's not actual leather. The door aperture is wide enough, so getting in is not a problem. On the steering wheel, on the right side you get cruise control, and on the left side you get your audio controls. Then you get the MZD infotainment system. Down below you get the AC vents, then the AC controls, and the quality is quite good. It almost feels premium. There's also a CD slot, 2 USB ports, a 12-volt power outlet, and the quality of the materials is quite good. It's unlike the competitors such as the Dualis and even the Honda HR-V. The quality just feels very nice. So here are the controls for the MZD Connect. Again, the quality is quite good. I would say it's almost comparable to what you get in the BMW. So 2 cup holders. Unfortunately there is no armrest, but there's a bit of storage here, and the seats are quite comfortable. The glove box is decently sized, but it's not lined with felt, and it's also not lockable, and there's no light. This particular one does not get the sunroof. Something that you'll quickly realize the moment you get inside this car is that the space is a bit limited. Of average height, but I am having trouble finding a comfortable driving position. Basically, as I said earlier, it's just a Mazda Demio that has been slightly raised to have better ground clearance. So the mirror is manually dimming, and then on the driver's side you get the sun visor but no light, and the driver also gets a grab handle. Generally the quality is quite good, but the space is a bit limited. You also get paddle shifts on the steering wheel, and the steering is leather wrapped. This is where you get buttons for the i-stop traction control as well as the blind spot monitoring, so you can switch some of these active driver assist features off. Once you locate this lever, you can be able to adjust the steering wheel up and down, but unfortunately not inwards and outwards. Once you get the ideal position, you just lock it back. So now let's have a look at the back seats. The door aperture is quite good. The door opens almost up to 90 degrees. Then there is a speaker, a bottle holder. So getting in is quite easy, but the first thing you'll notice once you are in is the limited space. I'm just of average height, but I think I will not be comfortable here on a long journey. There's a storage pocket behind the front passenger seat, but on the driver's side, on the driver's seat, there's no storage pocket. There's a light, grab handle on the left side as well as on the right side. Unfortunately, there's no armrest. There's also a grab handle as well as a hook on the right side. In terms of safety, it's quite good. You also get airbags on the B pillars. This is the amount of headroom I have, so taller people will probably not be very comfortable back here. Now let's check out the boot. The boot, I would say it's decent, it's not that big. This boot can swallow one large suitcase and some few other items, and the loading lip is quite large, so you'll have to lift in the luggage and sort of drop it down to the boot. Under the boot floor there is very limited storage space. Then there's a light on the right side. So there you have it. This is a very good looking crossover. It's filled to the brim with features, and it also has a premium interior, but it has two major weaknesses. The first one is its interior space. It's just too small that even someone of average height may not be comfortable on a long journey. Almost feels claustrophobic. Another weakness is its price. It's just too expensive for a subcompact crossover. It's almost the same car as a Demio, yet it costs around 800,000 shillings more than a Demio. So it's like you're paying 800,000 shillings more for increased ground clearance, which does not make much sense. The competitors are better in terms of space, and some even in terms of price. Speaking of competitors, they include the Subaru XV, which is way more spacious, though also a bit expensive. There's also the Honda Vezel and Nissan Juke, which again is also very limited in terms of interior space. So generally you'll be better off in a Demio, or if you want good ground clearance you can look at something like the Subaru XV or even Nissan Dualis. But do take note that the Dualis and Nissan Juke may be prone to CVT failure, especially on long distances. Only go for this Mazda CX3 if you really like it. Otherwise it does not make much sense because it's just too small in terms of interior space, yet also very expensive. That said, it also drives very well, and it actually beats its competitors in that regard. So there you have it. I hope this has been helpful. Thanks a lot for watching. Please consider subscribing to the channel for more informative content on cars and bikes. You can also reach me via WhatsApp or email if you have any enquiries. Support the production of this content by donating. Your support will be much appreciated. I'll leave the details in the description box. That's it for this particular episode. Stay safe. See you in the next one.
The sunshine brings the light. Fill me up with a flame. I need you in this game. Take me out when I'm down. 'Cause with you I'm safe and sound. 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 I'm safe and sound.